Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. Tonight for supper we're going to have some cauliflower soup, and it's absolutely one of our favorites. Look how pretty that is. Yeah, it's really pretty. So what we're going to do is cut it off the stalk, and I'll show you how to do that. Because we're going to use the Vitamix to grind it all up, but you can also do this with a just a regular blender easily. So I'm going to get all those big leaves off. And by the way, you can use those in the soup if you'd like, no problem. Right now, I've got a little bit of a place right there I'm going to cut off. And so I'm going to cut it right down the middle. Go. And then we'll cut it down the middle of the stalk, like that. And we'll see how many of these leaves I can use. Probably not many of them. See that stalk in there? We're going to use that too, so I'm going to slice them over in this pot. Just slice that stalk sort of thin. So then I've just got that. I'm going to drop that in, cut them in half. And what we're going to do is steam these. But before I do that, I'm putting them in a pot so I can wash them really good. So let's get these leaves off. Now some of these leaves we're going to use, but not all of them. But we're definitely using the stalk where it's tender, which is up in here. So cut the stalk off. And then cut any great big chunks like that, sort of in two. Okay, so now we're ready for the next one. There you go, stalk still in there. Cut that off, and then cut into any big chunks. Same here. And there you go. See, we got a little leaf on there. I'm going to leave that. Cut that stalk a little bit and put all that down in the pot. Okay, so now I'm going to see, I want to use some of these tender leaves here like that and that. Yeah, those will cook up, and then we're going to blend them up in the blender. I want a little bit of those green leaves in there. There's some there, and right in here. Now I'm not using where the stalk is really tough, like right at the bottom. It's really tough. Although maybe we could cut some of that off. Yeah, see, you can tell with your knife if it's going to be tender. That little piece is real tough. So yeah, so we're going to put it all in the soup. There we go. Oops, that one's tough there. All right, one more. Let's see how we can get some of this off. Yeah, you can tell if it's going to be tough or not when you cut through it. If the knife goes through it pretty easily, then you know it's going to be tender. All right, that's about all we can do. I'm going to wash this, put about a cup of water in here, put it in my little steaming basket, and we're going to cook it probably 10 or 15 minutes at the most. We'll be back. All right, the broccoli, excuse me, I keep calling it broccoli, it's cauliflower, has finished steaming. It steamed for about 15 minutes. And what I'm going to do is save out some of the florets to go into the soup, and the rest I'm going to grind up in the Vitamix. Now, if you don't have a Vitamix, you can still make this in a regular blender. It'll do just fine. And this was so fresh, 10 minutes would have probably been long enough to steam it. So I'm just going to take out, now there are all the stems. So I'm going to take out a whole bunch of the florets to go in the bowls that I'm going to use for the soup. Okay, now we're going to dump this into the Vitamix, and it's very hot, so I'm going to do this off camera. We'll be right back. right, we are back. I've gotten the hot broccoli and a few of those leaves and the stems in the Vitamix. I've saved back 1 cup of the water that it was steamed in and put that in the Vitamix. I'm also going to add 1 16-ounce carton of half and half. Just tuck that in. And I'm going to use 2 cubes of bouillon, and this is the chicken flavored bouillon. So we gotta take these out of the wrapper real quick. There's 1. And you notice I didn't add any salt because the bouillon is going to be salty. So I don't add any additional salt. Now you could completely make this in the Vitamix by just continuing to run it, but I prefer to put it back in the pot that it was cooked, steamed in, and then add the extra little pieces of cauliflower, and I did cut those up a bit. So now we're going to turn this Vitamix on. We'll be right back. Okay, that took about 30 seconds, and if I had put the bouillon in there while before I added the milk, it would have completely dissolved, but I forgot to do that. So now I'm going to pour it back in the pot. And I'm going to go ahead and add the little florets. Oh, sorry, y'all couldn't see. The little florets that I saved out. It's a little foamy because it was in the Vitamix, but that'll go away once it's reheated. So I'm going to put it on medium, or really maybe a little below medium, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in there. Now, while this is cooking, or warming back up, I'm going to go ahead and fix us some big chunks of some Italian bread with some butter on it, and we'll be back. Okay, we have got the soup ladled up in the bowls. You can see some of the chunks of the cauliflower on top. 2 pieces of toast. This is Italian bread with butter on the top. And the back side is not toasted, so we can dip it down in there. We've got our iced tea. Now this is a very simple soup to make, and it is oh so good. And if I have called it broccoli soup, please forgive me, because I do that all the time. But anyway, broccoli soup I make in a very similar way, but I do put cheese on top of the broccoli soup. And I also peel the stalks of the broccoli soup because they're usually tough. If you don't have a Vitamix, you can use any kind of blender, just enough to blend it up. And this cauliflower was very fresh, so it didn't take, 10 minutes would have been long enough to steam it. So anyway, I'll put the recipe down below the video, and we didn't put any extra salt in it, just the 2 cubes of chicken bouillon. That was it. All right, we will see y'all next time.